Marner's had some terrific seasons during a 7-year career, but this one has been the best. We wanted to use this edition of the Power Rankings to take a look around the league at some team MVPs. When you think about the defending Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche, a few names come to mind. Nathan MacKinnon is one of the brightest stars in the league. Cale Makar might be the best defenseman. He was the 2022 playoff MVP. Even Gabriel Landeskog, the captain who hasn't played a game this year, is one of the faces you immediately think of. But if you had to pick an MVP for the Avs this year, you'd go with big winger Mikko Rantanen. The Finn has been everything Colorado could have hoped for this year, registering his first 50-goal season and being among the league leaders in even strength goals all year. The 6'4" winger has also dressed for every single Avs game this season during a campaign when so many of the big Colorado stars have missed time with injury. Speaking of scoring, David Pastrnak has taken things to a whole new level this year, hitting the 60-goal mark. On a record-breaking Bruins squad that has Vezina candidate Linus Ullmark, face of the franchise Patrice Bergeron, and Norris caliber defenseman Charlie McAvoy, the 26-year-old Czech has stood out the most. Like Rantanen, Pastrnak has been among the league leaders in even strength goals all year. And if you're the only one really hanging with Connor McDavid in the Rocket Richard race, you must be doing something right. We've identified a few players who maybe exist in the shadows of other great teammates a bit in the past, and that's certainly the case for Mitch Marner. Listen, Marner is a hometown boy starring for the Leafs. He certainly gets his shine, but when you line up alongside the reigning Hart Trophy winner in Austin Matthews, sometimes tough to get top billing on your own team. Well, there's no doubt number 16 has been the Leafs MVP this season, doing it at both ends and setting a new franchise record by recording a point in 23 straight contests. Marner's had some terrific seasons during a 7-year career, but this one has been the best. If we were talking Los Angeles Kings MVP 10 years ago when the team was winning Stanley Cups, 2 names would immediately come up: Anze Kopitar and Drew Doughty. Guess what? A decade after they were the engines that made a mini dynasty go, Kopitar and Doughty are still the engines that drive the Kings. Either one would be a worthy LA MVP this year, but we'll give the nod to Doughty based simply on how much the defenseman plays. At 33 years old, Doughty is essentially still seeing as much per game ice as any player in the league, and as far as we can tell, he still hasn't lost a step. I think if you were to get a group of people to sit down and actually vote for the New Jersey Devils MVP, it might be a dead heat between not just 2, but 3 players. Dougie Hamilton could end up with more points than any defenseman in the league not named Erik Karlsson. Nico Hischier has become one of the very best two-way centers in the game, and Jack Hughes has fully made the leap to becoming a truly elite offensive player. For my money, we have to go with Hughes. The 21-year-old has become just a terrifying offensive player, and frankly, it's a little scary to contemplate the fact he's still just getting started in the NHL. We've listed some very good players on very good teams, but bad teams have MVPs too. And from the bottom of the pack, few players have impressed more than Clayton Keller of the Arizona Coyotes. Since February 1st, only 3 players, McDavid, McKinnon, and Leon Draisaitl, put up more points than Keller. It's great to see the Coyotes winger realizing his full potential, especially after his season ended prematurely last year with a frightening fractured leg. Now let's get a look at the full ranking. Adam Fox has been Mr. Everything for the Rangers, seeing a ton of ice in all situations. Braden Point always flies a little under the radar for the Lightning, but this year he's been an absolute goal-scoring menace in addition to being his defensively responsible self. Once again, UC Saros was the backbone of the Nashville Predators and the biggest reason the club was able to stick around the playoff race in a retooling season. What can you say about the year Erik Karlsson had with the Sharks? He's the first D-man with 100 points since Brian Leetch in the early 90s. It was just a monster comeback campaign for the Swede. All right, I'm Ryan Dixon. You're all my MVPs for checking out the Sportsnet Power Rankings all season. Don't worry, we will see you again soon.